All right, buckle up, everybody. We're diving headfirst into the crypto craze.
That's right, and we're taking Crypto Guru as our guide.
Exactly. Think of it as your one-stop shop for all things crypto, news, market trends, the whole shebang, and we're serving it up hot and fresh for you today.
Yeah, we've got some pretty wild headlines to unpack.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be talking about Bitcoin, of course.
Ethereum too?
Oh, yeah. Got to talk about Ethereum, NFTs, the SEC getting all up in the crypto grill.
And even a brand new blockchain that supposedly can handle, like, a gazillion transactions per second.
A gazillion, huh?
Well, maybe not a gazillion, but close. It's a wild claim, that's for sure.
Well, we're going to get to the bottom of it. So let's start with Bitcoin. Crypto Guru is reporting that the conflict in the Middle East is kind of putting a damper on Bitcoin Uptober, which is usually when Bitcoin prices, go up.
It's a trend, yeah. But this time, not so much.
Right. And it's interesting, isn't it, how these real-world events can shake up the crypto market.
For sure. It shows how interconnected everything is. We think of Bitcoin as this separate digital thing.
Right. It's its own world.
Exactly. But even global conflicts can mess with its price.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
And speaking of things that can mess with Bitcoin, there's been a lot of talk about Jack Dorsey.
Oh, yeah. Twitter Jack.
He's been pouring money into all sorts of Bitcoin projects.
Like a lot of money.
And it's raising questions like how much can one person actually influence a decentralized system?
Good point. I mean, is it really decentralized if one guy with deep pockets can swing things?
It's a debate for sure.
Definitely something to think about. But, okay, before we get too deep into that, let's talk about this prediction for Bitcoin hitting $100,000. Crypto Guru mentioned some analyst who thinks a Golden Cross event could trigger it.
Hi, yes, the Golden Cross.
So break it down for us. What is that? Why should we care?
It's a technical indicator, something traders look at. Basically, when the short-term moving average for a crypto's price crosses above its long-term average.
Okay, and that means...
It's supposed to signal that buying momentum is building. Like a surge in interest. Could mean a price jump.
Interesting. So basically, some folks think it could push Bitcoin way up.
That's the idea. But, it's just one indicator. Nobody can predict the market for sure.
Right. Still, $100,000 Bitcoin. I mean, that'd be wild.
It would.
Okay, while we're on the Bitcoin train, I remembered something Crypto Guru mentioned from back in August.
No.
Collectible tokens on Bitcoin. They broke the $1 billion mark. A billion. With a B.
It's crazy, right? We hit these milestones and then just move on to the next thing.
It's like, $1 billion, whatever.
Like it's nothing.
But it's something. Speaking of next things, there was this article about how, historically, Bitcoin breaks the narrative.
Breaks the narrative, huh?
Yeah, like whatever story people try to spin about it, Bitcoin does its own thing.
Yeah.
And apparently, based on how it's acted before, some analysts think we're about to see another one of those narrative-breaking moments.
It's like Bitcoin's got a mind of its own.
A rebellious streak. Which I guess makes sense, right? I mean, it's all about decentralization, breaking free from the system.
Yeah, that's the whole ethos.
Okay, so Bitcoin's doing its thing. But what about Ethereum? Seems like it's been struggling a bit lately, especially compared to Bitcoin.
It has. Crypto Guru mentioned it hit a 3-year low against Bitcoin.
Ouch.
And there's this analyst who's predicting it could even drop further.
Oh, man. Not good news for Ethereum fans.
Not great. Crypto Guru even shared a story about this trader, James Fickle. He's facing some serious losses because of the ETH-BTC drop. Real people feeling the impact.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that behind all the charts and numbers, there are actual people whose lives are affected by this stuff.
For sure. It's not just a game.
Exactly. Okay, so Ethereum's taken a bit of a hit. But on a more positive note, Crypto Guru also mentioned a positive on-chain metric for Ethereum, right?
Right. It's not all doom and gloom. There are some signs that things might not be as bad as they seem. We gotta look at the whole picture. And speaking of positive news, Lido DAO just launched their community staking module.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to bring that up. Big news for Ethereum, right?
It is.
But for those of us who aren't, crypto whizzes, break it down. What does this mean for the average person?
Well, it's all about making Ethereum staking more accessible.
Staking, right.
So staking is when you basically lock up your Ethereum to help secure the network. And in return, you earn rewards. But before, you needed a lot of Ethereum to participate. Lido DAO is changing that, making it easier for more people to get involved.
So more people can potentially benefit from staking.
Exactly. More opportunity, which is always a good thing.
Definitely. Okay, so we've talked Bitcoin, we've talked Ethereum, but let's zoom out for a second and see what's happening with the rest of the crypto world. The altcoins, as they call them, I was reading about Solana, seems to be making a real splash.
Solana's hot right now, outperforming Ethereum in a key metric called RV realized value. Essentially measures the total value of all transactions happening on a network.
Okay.
So Solana's RVV is surging. Could be a sign that more and more people are using it. Things are heating up over there.
Solana's on the rise. Got it. What else is going on in the altcoin world? Anything catching your eye?
Well, for starters, Stellar. XLM.
Yeah.
Crypto Guru mentioned that Stellar transfers are now supported on Robinhood.
Oh, wow. Robinhood, huh?
Yep. Pretty big deal for making crypto more accessible.
Definitely. Robinhood's got a huge user base, lots of people new to investing, so now they can easily buy, sell, transfer Stellar. Pretty cool.
Opens it up to a whole new audience.
Yeah.
And speaking of new things, I saw that Celestia project you mentioned earlier is launching a ton of new tokens.
Celestia, right. Something like 176.2 million TIA tokens.
A whole lot of tokens. But what's really interesting about Celestia is that it's not just another crypto, it's a whole new blockchain.
Oh.
And they claim it can handle a massive amount of data.
Okay, so we've talked Bitcoin, Ethereum, a few altcoins. But let's shift gears for a minute. What's going on with the whole regulatory side of things? I know Crypto Guru had a report about the SEC and OpenSea, the big NFT marketplace.
Ah, yes. The SEC is sniffing around OpenSea. They're worried NFTs might actually be securities.
Securities, like stocks and bonds.
Exactly, which would mean a whole different set of rules apply.
That could be a big deal for the NFT market.
It could, especially for platforms like OpenSea where people buy and sell NFTs.
So the SEC's getting involved. Makes sense, I guess. The crypto world's getting bigger, more mainstream. Regulators got to do their thing.
Gotta keep up.
Exactly. But while the regulators are playing catch-up, the innovators, they're not slowing down. Crypto Guru had this article about a brand new blockchain called Somnia, same company behind Yuga Labs, the folks who created Other Side.
I saw that. Ambitious project.
And get this, they're saying it can process 400,000 transactions per second. 400,000.
And the bold claim. We're talking way faster than anything out there now.
Way faster. I mean, Visa, for example, they can handle, like 65,000 transactions per second?
Something like that. So yeah, 400,000 is a whole other level.
It really makes you realize the potential of blockchain, right? It can revolutionize so many things.
Absolutely. Payments, supply chains, data storage, the possibilities are huge.
Huge. But we got to be realistic, too. Security is still a big concern in the crypto world. I remember that story from Crypto Guru about those illegal Bitcoin mining operations in Malaysia.
Yeah, they cost that electricity company a fortune, over $100 million in losses.
It's a reminder that as crypto grows, so do the risks. People are going to try to exploit it.
For sure. There's always a dark side.
Always. But hey, there's success stories too, right? Like that solo Bitcoin miner who scored a $222,000 reward.
Talk about lucky. Solo mining is tough. You need serious technical skills, expensive equipment, and a lot of luck.
So, not exactly a get-rich-quick scheme.
Not really, but still, it's those stories that keep people dreaming.
Yeah, the lure of striking it rich. Speaking of which, Crypto Guru had an article asking if BRICS nations could win the hashing war and bypass sanctions.
Ah, the geopolitics of crypto. It's a whole other layer of complexity.
It is. I mean, the BRICS nations, they have a lot of computing power, and they're getting more interested in crypto all the time.
How that plays out could have a big impact on Bitcoin mining and the whole crypto landscape.
Yeah, it's all connected. Okay, let's bring it back to the coins themselves for a minute. What's up with Cardano these days?
Well, Charles Hoskinson, Cardano's founder, he just laid out this big roadmap for Cardano 2.0.
Cardano 2.0, huh? Sounds fancy. What's on the agenda?
Lots of ambitious stuff. Upgrades for scalability, making it faster. Better interoperability so different blockchains can talk to each other.
Yeah.
And a big focus on sustainability, making it more eco-friendly.
So Cardano's trying to step up its game.
They are. And while we're talking about stepping up, remember Ethereum's recent dip? Well, even with that, Crypto Guru pointed out some positive on-chain metrics.
Right. Not all bad news.
For example, the number of active Ethereum addresses, it's actually increasing.
So more people are using the network.
Seems like it. Shows there's still a lot of interest, even when the price is down.
That's good to hear. And it reminds me of another positive thing we talked about, Lato DAO, making Ethereum staking more accessible.
Right, lowering the barrier to entry, that's a win for inclusivity.
Definitely. More people who can participate in crypto, the better.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of participation, We got to talk about the metaverse. Crypto Guru had a couple of interesting pieces about that.
The metaverse, huh? That's a whole other rabbit hole we could go down.
It is. But let's at least touch on it. So there's this company, NetVRC. They just launched an AI-powered metaverse built on Unreal Engine 5.
Unreal Engine 5, huh? That's some serious tech. I know they use it for video games.
The graphics are incredible. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it in the metaverse.
It's fascinating. Great. The metaverse is like this blend of gaming, virtual reality, and blockchain.
All coming together. And Decentraland, another big player in the metaverse, they've also been busy, revamped their whole virtual world, improved performance.
Okay. I got to ask, though, how are these virtual worlds actually built? And who owns them? I mean, it's cool to think about, but there are some big questions about ownership, control.
For sure. As we move deeper into the metaverse, we got to have those conversations. The ethical side, the potential consequences, it's not just about the tech, it's about how we use it.
Exactly. We're talking about redefining how we interact with technology, with each other. It's a big deal.
It is. But before we get too lost in the metaverse, maybe we should step back for a second. Recap some of the key themes from our Crypto Guru deep dive so far.
Okay, yeah. So we've seen how volatile the crypto market can be, affected by everything from global events to individual investors.
Right. We talked about regulation, the challenges with security, and of course the incredible potential of blockchain.
And we've just scratched the surface of the metaverse.
Which is really changing how we think about the internet, about reality itself. It's a lot to process.
It is. But that's the crypto world, isn't it? It's dynamic, complex, always evolving. There's a lot to keep up with, that's for sure. But before we wrap up, I wanted to circle back to something we touched on earlier. Bitcoin, and that whole idea of it, like breaking narratives. Crypto Guru mentioned some historical pattern there.
Right. Bitcoin has a history of defying expectations.
Yeah, like no matter what story people try to tell about it, Bitcoin just does its own thing.
Exactly. It breaks the mold. Time and time again, it's proven the skeptics wrong, shattered the narratives.
And based on those historical patterns, some folks are saying we're about to see another one of those narrative-breaking moments.
That's the theory. Like it's almost clockwork.
It makes you wonder what that'll look like. What narrative will Bitcoin break next?
Who knows, right? That's the beauty of it. It's unpredictable.
Speaking of unpredictable, what about that whole SEC thing with OpenSea? Any updates on that?
Still ongoing. It's a big deal, potentially. The SEC's decision on OpenSea could have ripple effects throughout the whole NFT market.
Right. It's a reminder that as crypto grows, regulators are going to want to have their say. But, okay, let's be real. What everyone wants to know is, what's going to happen to the price of Bitcoin? Any juicy predictions from Crypto Guru?
Oh, there are always price predictions.
Always.
One analyst, Crypto Guru mentioned, thinks a Golden Cross event could push Bitcoin all the way up to $100,000.
$100,000. Wow.
Bold prediction for sure. But hey, anything's possible in the crypto world.
I guess so. I mean, Bitcoin's been through some wild swings before, but what about Ethereum? Any predictions for ETH?
Well, there was one analysis that suggested it could actually drop further against Bitcoin, maybe even hit 0.035.
Not what Ethereum holders want to hear.
Nope, but it's important to consider all the angles, right?
For sure. Do your research, folks. But beyond the price predictions, the hype, all that, what I find really fascinating is how crypto is being used in the real world. Like we talked about, Stellar getting added to Robinhood. That's huge for accessibility.
Definitely opens doors.
What other real-world applications did Crypto Guru highlight? Anything that caught your attention?
Well, there was a report about some Russian companies using Tether to try and evade sanctions from the UK and the US.
So it's not all sunshine and roses.
Unfortunately not. There's always going to be those who try to exploit the system.
Yeah. It's like any powerful tool, right? It can be used for good or for bad.
Exactly. But despite those challenges, I think it's important to remember the positive potential of crypto. The innovations happening in this space are truly remarkable.
I agree. It's what keeps me coming back. The sense that we're on the cusp of something truly transformative.
We are. This is just the beginning.
Well said. Well, folks, that wraps up our Crypto Guru deep dive for today. We covered a lot of ground, from Bitcoin to Ethereum, NFTs, the metaverse, even a bit of geopolitics thrown in there.
A whirlwind tour of the crypto world.
Exactly. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, this is a space that's constantly evolving. So stay curious, stay informed, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.